and you brought our message of hope throughout the city of San Francisco. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for walking. And you were there for each other all night long. I saw it firsthand, listening, sharing, supporting each other, and empowering each other to keep on going, even when it was difficult. And you were there for the walkers who struggle, those with depression, anxiety, addictions, other mental health conditions. You lifted them up, and you lifted up those who have been suicidal. And you got them back safely. And they'll be safe from now on because of what you did. Thank you for helping each other all night long. And you embraced walkers who lost a loved one. And you empowered them to keep on going. You were there for each other, and I hope you'll continue to do that well after tonight's event. You were there for a fellow walker who lost her brother, a young brother, and now she's found comfort in a community that understands. Please join me in welcoming your fellow walker, Nicole Tong. Nicole?
My brother Evan and I were different. While I was outgoing and involved in school with classes and band, he was quiet, keeping to himself and his small group of friends. We grew up in a small town in Washington State, where he walked everywhere and devoured pretty much every book and video game he could get his hands on. In his last year of high school, I knew he was stressed that he didn't know what he was going to do next. But I never knew just how deep his stress and depression ran. On December 28, 2013, I was at a friend's wedding reception when I got the call. Evan took his own life. He was only 17 years old. I hit rock bottom after he died and actually felt pangs of the deep depression which drove him to take his own life. I dropped out of the classes I was taking. I lived an unhealthy life and pretty much stopped doing everything I love to do. I was lucky I had a good boyfriend as well as family and friends to help me get through it. But this story isn't always only about what I lost when Evan died. Especially in an environment as supportive as the overnight, this is also a story about what I've gained. My dad, who lives in Southern California, found AFSP in his search for some way to come back from our loss. He convinced me to walk in the Seattle overnight 6 months after we lost Evan. The thing that struck me the most was how many people were there. How many people had been touched by suicide like I had. I have to admit that seeing people that were happy and having a good time was odd. At first I felt bad being happy too, but then I embraced the positive vibe and realized that it was okay to be happy. My dad and stepmom walked with me at the Seattle overnight, at the overnight again in Seattle and in Boston last year. And the results were the same, even if the weather in Boston was less than spectacular. My mom, boyfriend, and friends walked with me at the community walk back in our hometown. And though it was much smaller, the results were the same there as well. I had written an article in our local paper back home about my overnight experience, and at the Boston Walk, someone came up to me and said they read it and were inspired by it. That meant a lot to me. It meant that I was starting to be the person that other people looked at to realize that things will be okay. And now, as I stand here, exhausted and exhilarated, I can tell you that once again, the overnight was the life-saving, life-reaffirming, reassuring event it has always proven to be. As you can see, I wear a lot of different beads because I'm here for so many reasons. Orange for Evan, purple and silver for friends we've lost, one of which was a veteran. Teal because my mom has been struggling as well. And green because I have faced depression myself. And blue because this cause needs all the support it can get. There was a time when I didn't see a future, when I felt numb to the world. Now, with the help of AFSP and all of you, I see a future that heartbreakingly doesn't have Evan in it, but it has so much for me to do in his honor and his memory. So I'd like to welcome my dad and stepmom, Kathy, up to the stage here. Tonight, we walked all those miles for Evan, and for me, and for every single person out there who might someday think that the world might be better off without them. We walked to tell San Francisco and the nation that suicide prevention needs to be a national priority. While I lost Evan, I've gained AFSP, the overnight, and all of you. Thank you for walking through the night with us. Thank you for helping me and so many others find all this light after so much darkness. Now, let's shine this newfound light bright and share it with the world. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Nicole and Barney and Kathy, for everything you're doing, for sharing your story, and for being leaders in the fight against suicide. I can't begin to tell you how grateful we are for everything you're doing, for saving lives and bringing hope to those affected by suicide. What you've accomplished is just amazing. And collectively, you have raised over $1.9 million tonight. I promise you we will use that money in this fight, and we'll invest it to bring down that rate. In the days ahead, and hopefully after you've had some sleep, I think we all need some sleep, you'll find yourself back in your normal daily routine, and I know it can be difficult. And if it is, I hope you'll remember our community that's always there for you. And at those difficult times, I hope you'll think back on the experience of walking overnight and draw strength from it. Thank you for walking. Thank you for crewing. What a great crew we had. Were they not phenomenal? And I thank you for donating, for raising funds, but more than anything, I thank you for saving lives. I hope you'll take another journey with us in 2017 in San Diego or Washington. Remember, you could reserve a spot at the tent. You know, last evening there were 9 luminaria on this stage, and they really started our journey. And we remembered those we lost, and those who struggle. And now those 9 lights, well, they've been joined by 1,000 more. And they line the path in tonight. And together, they will light the way for us to create change here in the Bay Area, in California, throughout our entire country. These luminaria and the people they represent, well, they are at the heart of our movement, and we will not be stopped. A movement that we will not allow suicide to continue in our country and everywhere. We will stop it, and we will accomplish our goal. We will bring the suicide rate down in our country to 20% within the 10 years. We will do it because of you and everything you're doing. Soon the lights will be coming on, the sky will brighten, and we'll extinguish the luminaria. But I promise you we'll never extinguish the light or the hope that they have created. We're bringing light, we're bringing suicide out of the darkness. You are doing that. I thank you for walking. I thank you for saving lives and bringing hope. God bless you and have a safe trip home. And we hope to see you again. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you.